thanks so much for being with Sci-Fi-Vision. We're so excited to have you here. I love Invasion. I came to it late. I discovered it after I watched Silo. Actually, I discovered Invasion. Love it. The audience only knows what the characters know. And as a result, in season one, I don't think we saw an alien until maybe episode 5, right? And when we saw it, wow, you've created this wholly original type of alien. I don't even know. Do you guys have a name for it? They're sort of like spiders. They're sort of like machines. Do you have something you call them?
Well, it is called the worker alien. The idea is that it was brought here to terraform the planet, and yes, while it is dangerous and kills, it's not until you get into season 2 that you actually find yourself kind of face to face with what we'll call the warrior class. Where they step it up a notch and they're a lot scarier. But yes, it's a unique alien that adapts to whatever environment it's dropped into, because it is a drone. It doesn't have a mouth. It doesn't eat. It doesn't have a heartbeat. It is a drone, and it's connected with a hive mind to other aliens who are controlling it. So that's and it tesseracts to move. So the idea that it basically turns itself inside out as it's moving and regenerating and such, the next appendage that moves it along.
Yeah, you last year in 21 when the show aired, you guys put out that great video. Apple TV put out a video on YouTube about like how you all created that, and it showed us some sort of computer renditions of it and how it works, and that's a really great video. We'll have to post a link to that for people who haven't seen it yet. Yeah. But season 2 picks up. 4 months have gone by. The first episode's out tonight, I think. So 4 months have gone by, and the characters, they all know a lot more. They're sort of living with the invasion now on a daily basis, and as a result, we get to see a lot more of the worker aliens, of the drones, but also some other stuff. Did you feel a sense of was the pressure on? Did you feel pressure? Did you feel excitement? Did you there's so much more to see this year?
Yeah, the idea was character driven in the first season. Yes, we show you aliens, but it's fleeting. It's much more like the movie Alien was, it's about being scared about what's around the corner, not actually coming around the corner and being face to face with something. And so in season 2, Simon Kinberg, the show's creator, told me, hey, we're going to drop everyone right in the center of a war, a proper war. And yes, it's going to be, first person sort of in amongst it. And then we're going to step back and then start to evolve those aliens that you saw from season 1, who are now fighting en masse. They start to reach their sort of end of service, and they coalesce into a new form, 2.0, that is the warrior class. And in that instance, they've adapted. They've become more like a pack of wolves here on planet Earth. Because that seems to be a great way to work with our gravity or whatever. And hand-to-hand combat is better for them because they actually have appendages that are designed strictly for killing. And so, yeah, it's I think that's really interesting. And of course, we also introduce, as the season goes on, other things.
Yeah. So in this first episode that's out today, actually, I want to talk about also, there's a great introductory sequence, one of the first scenes in Japan, where Mitsuki is fighting aliens, and she's tossing Molotov cocktails, and there's fire everywhere, and things are exploding. Sometimes fire is a practical effect, sometimes it's a visual effect, sometimes you blow stuff up or don't. And I want to talk about how you did that, and a little bit also how the actors, season 1, they react. It's green screen, right? But now they've had a chance to see see the show and see what they're reacting to. And I guess I have 2 questions going on there, if we can keep track of that.
Okay, so practically we had the special effects guys helped us a lot. they're moving things around that we then step on, and blowing things around that we interact with. The fire was them. Sure, we did a little bit of you have to add a little CG fire to wrap around. But when she throws a Molotov cocktail at an alien, that is a practical flame effect that then we just added stuff to make sure that it looks like it's fully integrated into the scene. But you're right. It's tough for people to watch. For an actor to play against something that's not in the scene. What we did do with that scene that I think was super important for everyone is storyboarded it with the director. Then we prevised and tweaked all of that to make sure that it worked best for how our aliens moved. And all the actors got to watch that. So they kind of are going, okay, and we're going to shoot it just like this? Yes, exactly like that. And I think that helped them understand the sort of the tone of the whole scene. Like I said, that one, the Osaka battle, is a all-out war, and she's rescuing people and playing the proper part of the heroine. It's great.
And so that scene takes us to where she's then sort of like kidnapped and taken to Brazil, where you have created like a crashed alien ship. There's this scientific base, and part of it exists inside this massive spaceship, which is a whole visual thing there. And they have captured it at this new entity type of alien. I mean, we don't know what it is in episode 1. That's sort of it looks like mercury, but it also looks like water. What's your inspiration there, and who drove that?
Inspiration, really, Simon had said that he wanted to have something that was kind of an amorphous shape, something that could change its shape, could get small, could get big, could move around and flow, kind of like water, but with a little bit more viscosity than that. And we came up with something with Frame Store London, where I said, try to make it like blown glass that is, moving. And so hopefully, people will see that. But, the challenge of that is it has to emote. And so we did spend a lot of time working with, all right, colors. How do you can change colors, and people respond to greens being calm and reds being, elevated heart rate. That's great. But we also have a texture, and then we change its shape and have it move. And the wonderful thing is with the help of the DP and lighting the actress and the set, with the same glow, it really integrates well. And you have intimate moments that, if you had asked me 9 months ago, you're going to be able to get an intimate moment between an actress and a thing that is essentially a big blob. I'm not sure, but it worked out.
Oh, for sure. I think that thing is communicating emotions. We're not sure if it's telling the truth or lying, but there you can definitely see the emotion sort of flowing through it. I'd like to talk about episode 4, The Tunnel, which is the first time we see the new warrior class of aliens. I'm not sure if the drones have morphed or if this is a totally separate kind of creature. And I don't know that we need to know that, but I was so interested in how they moved. And at first I thought, are they dogs? And then I thought hyenas. And then there are sometimes I felt it moved like a silverback gorilla. And I had to keep rewinding it and watching it. Later, we get a closer look at their faces, and am I just seeing animals because it's the drone is not any kind of mammal we know. The warrior sort of reflects a shape that I'm more familiar with.
You're so insightful. That is exactly what we wanted to do. And the idea was that, the warrior, the worker class that you see in season 1 and that the first part of season 2 is supposed to be that, hey, they left their planet. They brought these things. They were in the ships that go down on the ground, and then they go out. But the idea was that it could be any planet, it wasn't, this is just the one they chose. But had it been a water planet, those worker aliens would have changed their shape to work with that, which would be different. And what we wanted to do with season 2 is say that you were right. They do change into the warriors, the workers. So they die out and then they are reborn. But the idea was absolutely to say, why do cockroaches exist here? Well, it's because it works well. They've adapted through evolution. We're just saying that evolution with these drones can happen over a shorter period of time. And so that's why they take on certain useful techniques of walking. And in this case, we were thinking of wolves, but yes, dogs, wolves. Sure, there are times in which it appears to be running in a simian way. But those are all things that it just learned over time, made sense in a pack mentality to, circle around prey and all of those sort of things. They're learned from having been on this planet, and they're all sending this information hive mind wise that it was a logical step to bring them into something that, as you said, I recognize that a bit. Right on.
Yep. And we see later in the season how they're a time when they're resting together, and then spring into action. I don't want to spoil anything. At least in the early episodes of this season, really since the beginning of season 1, we have not seen that giant Travante. When he was in the desert, he saw a type of presence, a creature, a monster that we didn't see again in season 1, and we don't see in at least not in the first couple of episodes. I won't spoil whether it comes back or not. I don't even know what that was. I can't even describe that to people. What were you going for there?
Well, that is a ship. That's is definitely a ship. But in the style of all of the aliens that you see, there's an ability for the skin of that ship to be either solid or viscous, and that's, you see some of that in episode 2 of season 1, right. And you will get a chance to see more of those ships, what we call crater ships. They create these craters when they go in. Mm-hmm. And there is some of the what I think is some of the best work in the show is when you enter the ship there in the Amazon, and you go into the chamber that is vast. And if you look carefully, because we're not shoving it in your face, which I think is part of the beauty of it, is that there's almost like vertebrae inside, massive vertebrae all over. And what those are the same ships that were in the desert in episode 102.
Wow, it's really the world building that's gone into it visually is incredible. I want to thank you so much. We haven't even touched on the crater. The crater, we learned more about the crater sort of mid-season. I don't want to spoil that. And what happens, I've seen the whole 10, and what happens in like episodes 9 and 10 with the kids, and it's incredible. I hope that we might get a chance to talk again, or to somebody else from the show, as we near the end of the season, to talk about that.
Just ask and I'll be here.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I just want to remind everybody that the first episode's out today, August 23rd, and there will be one episode every week for the next 10. So Thanks so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.